What is going on, everyone? Today we are checking out a Sonax 730G. And this amplifier was actually given to me by a friend that said, I will make you a deal. You can either have the amp for $20 for parts, or you can have it for free if you agree to fix it, because he'd actually never heard it operational. So took a look inside. There was a couple rectifier diodes in the power section that were burnt out completely, and an insulator actually missing from one of the power transistors on the back of the amplifier. So didn't take a whole lot. Took about $15 to get it up and running. I put some new NTE transistors on the back. I believe they are 2N3055 transistors, and replaced all 4 rectifier diodes on the inside. Filter caps still look good. They're not dried out or leaking or anything like that, which is amazing given this amplifier is from 1972. So it's got some years on it, and you've probably never seen one before. You're probably looking at it going, what the heck is a Sonax? The quick background on a Sonax amplifier is they're actually built by Yorkville Sound, and they were built in 1972 when the owner of Yorkville Sound at that point was approached by Baldwin Music Corporation, trying to make basically an affordable amp for folks that needed a good practice amp at home, and how could they market and cater to that demographic? Well, here it is. And there were several different variations. Most notably, the 720G is what you see more often, or the 750G, the 720 having 2 8-inch speakers, the 730, like I've got sitting in front of me, having 2 10s, and the 750 having a twin 12 setup. The amp is not loud. Not whatsoever. It really doesn't start to take on a character of its own until you've got it cranked up to about 6 on the volume. And it does have a good clean sound, and it's an all clean amplifier. It's solid state all the way. But even cranked up, there's no way this is keeping up with a drummer or anything like that. But it does come with a built-in reverb, and it does come with a built-in trem circuit. The trem circuit is not something that I would want to use. It's not a swell and fade kind of trem. I'll show you what kind it is. It's the kind that cuts you out completely. So usable to some, but not so much for me. But altogether, true spring reverb tank. And I'm using my Fender American Strat Pro. It's a pretty sounding amp for a solid state amplifier of its age. It sounds fantastic. And here's that trem circuit, speed right at noon. Let's try with pedals. And right off the bat, it is a solid state amp, so it is very, very bright. If you can't see, I've got the treble rolled back to about 2 right now. I've got the bass sitting right between 3 and 4, and it's a surprisingly bassy amplifier for a 220 or a 210 combination, which isn't something that I normally use. But I will tell you that it takes effects very, very well, not surprisingly, but for its age. Right now I'm running my Strymond Timeline into it, my Strymond Big Sky, and I've got a Ibanez Mostortion clone that I built myself. That's all I'm running into it right now. The amp reverb's sitting right about noon, so it's just kind of kicking in. And what you get left with is this very ethereal V40, and one of the things I like to do is just throw a loop at it and see what happens. So let's throw a loop at it, maybe that same kind of thing I was playing, and try leading over top of it and just kind of see how it would sound all blended together. So far, I'm actually pretty impressed. The thought has definitely occurred to me to keep this amplifier if I had somewhere to put it, but it's not going to replace my Victory V40 anytime soon. But it's a beautiful amplifier. It sounds fantastic. So I will be right back. Let's get a loop going. Clearly a contender for things like praise and worship music. Takes clean tones fantastically. What I was finding out when I started to do the loop is that it really is very, very picky on drive pedals. Seems to do all right with the Hudson Broadcast type circuit, lightly fuzzy, mostly clean. When I kicked on my Strymond Sunset, the sound was terrible. Same thing with the Tube Screamer. Does not agree with it. It is not an amp with an effects loop, so I've got everything running into my front end right now, so that could also have a little bit to do with it. And I didn't test it out with humbuckers, but all things considered, for what you get out of it, this beautifully clean amp. You'll notice there is no mid control on this amplifier, so it's just treble and bass. So what you're left with is what you get. But all things considered, if you stumble across one of these for a good price, and I mean $100 or less, and you just want to toy around with one, I would highly recommend it. This would be something that, if I had the capacity to keep around for a long period of time, I would keep it, just for the sake of miking it up for studio use, because it has almost a boss-like clean. Just beautiful. But anyway, that is the Sonax 730G. Sorry about the sour notes. I was just improvising.